Hi, welcome back to Waxing On Friday, our last video Friday for a little while anyways. We may bring that back. And we're wrapping up today with a concert by one of my favorites, Joe Cocker. This is an album. The DVD is called, I'm going to take it out of the folder here because it's getting a bit of glare, but it's called The Best of Joe Cocker. And of course, every concert is, right? It's greatest hits, things like that. Best of Joe Cocker. And it's live 1992 in Dortmund, Germany. Now, this one actually has a bonus feature we'll talk about just in a second. And this is a full concert and covers a lot of ground. It covers from those back Mad Dogs and Englishmen days right up to what he was doing currently in 1992. Now, one carryover from there, we've got Chris Stainton still playing piano with him. So that's a carryover from the old Grease Band days. Other than that, a lot of new players on here. Still just as great as ever. By 1992, a lot of that craziness of the 70s was gone. I mean, if you saw Mad Dogs and Englishmen, you kind of know what was going on there. There's a lot of wild stuff. Joe went through a tough time, you know, in the 70s there. But by 1992, he straightened it up, out there doing concerts, doing a great job. Give you a rundown of what we have for a set list here. We got 19 tunes in this first concert. I think it runs a little over 2 hours. Start off Crimea River from Mad Dogs and Englishmen. Feeling All Right, one of the big hits from Dave Mason that he did way back in the early days. Hitchcock Railway, Many Rivers to Cross, Up Where We Belong, the duet he did for Officer and a Gentleman, Jennifer Warnes. Great song there. I Can Hear the River, Shelter Me, Please No More, Night Calls, Now That the Magic Has Gone. First half of the concert. Move into the second half. You Can Leave Your Hat On, When the Night Comes, Love Is Alive, Unchain My Heart, Feels Like Forever. Of course, with a little help from my friends, his first big breakout tune. A very slower version of the Beatles arrangement, and certainly it had an impact. I mean, this was what I remember. This was the big one that was on the Woodstock album. I mean, this is what they really showcased him with. And unfortunately, he's been chained to that and had to do it for a lifetime. It was also the theme for Wonder Years. Great job on that. The Letter, another tune that was one of my favorites. Those two from Mad Dogs and Englishmen, The Letter and Crimea River, two classics. Unfortunately, we don't have Leon Russell on here playing piano, but Chris does a great job on there. Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Word, and the big one by Billy Preston, You Are So Beautiful. Now, this is 1992. Now, Joe's one of the ones I had a chance, or were lucky enough to have a chance to go and see live. And my wife and I went to see him, I believe it was mid-90s. He was touring behind the album, Have a Little Faith. And I'll tell you, it was one of the best concerts I've seen. He just did an excellent job. He was just so into what he was playing. I know he gets a lot of bad rap there about, you know, all the actions and the emotions and stuff like that, but that's just part of his delivery. And I said this in a show we did earlier about Cocker. Joe doesn't just sing the song, he becomes the song. He really is into what he's doing. It's so honest and so forthright and so powerful. It's just great to see him perform. And I'll tell you, a great guy too. Shortly after this concert, I snapped a picture at the concert, which back in those days people didn't want you doing. Sent it off to him at another concert he was doing just outside of Toronto. Signed it for my wife and I. Sent it back. I mean, great. Not many artists the stature that he was at and the fame he had would take the time to sign an autograph for a fan. And this one especially, just that I sent it by the mail. I didn't even have to corner him face to face on it. And it's one of my favorite autographs I have back on my wall in the music area. But let's go back to the music on this. Not only did we have the concert from Dortmund in 92, they jump ahead 10 years in Cologne, and we get an extra concert. Another 8 tunes in here. Music's changed a bit. Joe's changed a bit. The band's a little different. And songs from this album, or from this concert, I mean, Can't Have My Heart, Love Not War, Never Tear Us Apart, Midnight Without You, Respect Yourself, another big hit for Bruce Willis, if you remember. Every Time It Rains, This Is Your Life, and another classic here, Unchain My Heart. 2 concerts for the price of 1. Now, don't know if this is even still available out there. You might find hard copies, but the good news is I looked it up, YouTube, both concerts on YouTube. The Dortmund and the Cologne concert, both available out there, so you get a chance to watch them. And I'll tell you, I'd watched this just recently, a game, when I was getting ready to do the show. I pulled it out, put it in there, and it is just amazing just how good Joe Cocker is. How good Joe Cocker was. Unfortunately, he's passed. We're not going to get another shot at him, but you can still, through the video, get a chance to experience and enjoy those performances. And I'll tell you, I've been a fan ever since I first saw the Woodstock clip, and he never ceases to amaze me. He's just an amazing, amazing singer, and one of a kind. Great. I feel, great to be alive in the time when he was around performing those kind of things, to be able to get a chance to see him live and to see these performances. Check it out. YouTube, got 2 great concerts on there that are on this disc. Lots of other great videos on there as well, but I'll tell you, these are good because they're live performances. Depending on what era you pull out, some of Joe, he was hurting his way through some of these videos, maybe not as much into it as he is here now, but these were 2 classic ones. Well worth checking out. So that's it for Friday. We're wrapping up Video Friday with a concert look at the music of Joe Cocker. Check it out. Won't be disappointed. He was one great, great performer. And I'm just so happy I got a chance to see him. That's it. Everybody have a great weekend. Take care. Stay safe. See you on Monday. Thanks for stopping by.